Good evening. If you thought that woke Gareth Southgate was bad, with his dreary press conferences, his cautious football and his George at Asda dress sense, then think again. His interim replacement, Lee Carsley, no, me neither, infuriated fans this afternoon by refusing to sing the national anthem at the England versus Ireland game in Dublin, causing no small amount of embarrassment to the players and fans alike. This great country's recent capacity for self-loathing has surely reached its nadir when the England manager, no less, will not sing the traditional song of this country. Carsley, who was born in Birmingham but won 40 Ireland caps, having qualified through a grandmother, returned to Dublin today to coach England in the Nations League campaign, a fruitless competition that has about as much meaning as an episode of Love Island. Carsley has said that singing anthems is something that he has never done. He said the following. He said, "I was always really focused on the game and my first actions of the game. I was really proud of the fact that I found in that period I was wary about my mind wandering off. I was really focused on the football, and I've taken that into coaching." Have you indeed? The Football Association seem to limp, don't they, from one disaster to another. They wildly overspent on that far from perfect national stadium at Wembley. Many consider the St George's training ground an expensive white elephant parked in the middle of nowhere. The senior team haven't won anything since 1966. And although Gareth Southgate helped us progress well in more than one tournament, the football was abysmal. His pronouncements on fostering a better, more caring society were vomit-worthy, and the trophy cabinet remains empty. I'm absolutely mystified that there's now a campaign to give Gareth Southgate a knighthood. For what exactly? How can he possibly be compared to other figures who have been knighted, like Sir Paul McCartney, a man who has sold 1 billion records and whose band The Beatles changed the world? Gareth Southgate isn't even fit to tune Paul McCartney's guitar, let alone share his royal accolade. And now his replacement abstains from representing the country in song. In my view, the Football Association has become a tedious bureaucratic corporation, a cabal of bland pen pushers who are spaffing millions on preserving a football status quo of no victories, no excitement, and based upon today's debacle in Dublin, no national pride. Now, Mr. Carsley is a very accomplished man, a great player in his day and a highly talented manager who delivered for the under-21s, and I'm sure he's a nice guy. And of course, he's entitled to boycott the anthem, just as free speech is of critical importance. So the freedom not to speak, or in this case, not sing a song, is also a sacred right. But what were the Football Association thinking, hiring a man who is unwilling to celebrate the country that he has the great privilege of representing? What message does it send to the fans? Why should they cough up a fortune for expensive tickets and costly replica kits of their heroes when the man at the top considers this to be just another game in the lower leagues on a rainy Tuesday night? And what an insult to our impressive and dignified king. That's right, our monarch, Charles. What an insult that this track-suited upstart can't bring himself to utter the words, "God save the king." God save us, quite frankly. Football is a very important part of this country and our lives here. Football brings our rich and diverse nation together, and the national game is about national pride, something severely lacking from the current manager, who surely merits an early bath. I don't care how many matches this guy wins or doesn't win. It's time to show this unpatriotic crank the red card. Your reaction, gbnews.com/your say. But first, tonight's top pundits. We have writer and broadcaster Nina Mishkov, journalist Linda Jubilee, and former national newspaper editor, the one and the only Mr. Neil Wallace. Great to see all three of you. Thank you so much for joining us. A busy Saturday evening. We've got a lot of material to get through. But Nina Mishkov, what a slap in the face that football match was this afternoon.
I'm really relaxed about it, to be perfectly honest. The only football, I mean, the only football match I've ever watched was in black and white, and it was the 1966.
You were right to stop at that point.
I stopped.
Nothing's happened since.
Well, I've missed nothing. So
By the way, you were about 3 at that point, I thought.
I was being cradled in my mother's arms at that point. I think it's, and also because I'm British. I was born in Scotland. My mother was Scottish. My father was Polish. I was brought up in South Africa. I've lived in Scotland. I've lived in London. And people say, what nationality are you? I say, I live in London. So I'm the least jingoistic sort of person. And I understand the national pride and singing, God Save the King and all of that. But if he doesn't want to sing it, fine by me.
If the fans don't want to sing it, that's fine. But the players and the manager are representing the nation, Linda Jubilee. I think this is a sackable offence.
I think he should be singing it. I've listened to everything today. Early on in the morning, I listened to all the interviews where he explained that he has a routine. He had it as a player where he starts in the changing room, he goes into the tunnel.
Talk to the hand, because the face ain't listening. Who cares what his routine is?
He does all of that.
What a tired routine.
In the same way, though, that Johnny Wilkinson had his routine before he kicked a goal, or Andy Murray had his routine before he walked onto court. These routines are very, very important to athletes. Having said that, I've listened to other people saying, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. And in fact, it's how you play the game of life. And that's why he should be singing the national anthem. I can still remember as a young trainee on the Western Mail in Cardiff, and I'm not Welsh, walking into the rugby ground and listening to the Welsh national anthem, and it was the most brilliant feeling. And I think he should be doing it.
Football is there, Neil Wallace, to bring the nation together. That is something that the New England manager has deprived us of today.
I don't think there's any way you can possibly justify someone with such a significant public position who knows full well the paraphernalia that comes with a public position like that, is not singing the national anthem. It is part of the job. The team do it because they want to illustrate that pride in their country. Now, of course, this is more complicated by the fact that Lee Carsley, who incidentally wasn't that great a footballer, as you seem to think, he was a run-of-the-mill player who played internationally for Ireland with an Irish background. And of course, when you consider the inevitable history, the politics of the fact they're playing in Ireland with the Irish-English history, then it sends a signal. And I'm afraid you can't get away from the fact that in his first big game, against one of the old enemies, as it were, of football,
most definitely.
He let his country down.
For whom he played.
Exactly.
You said, exactly. So
that's the thing.
But the thing is, he never, presumably, when he was playing for Ireland, he didn't
sing the Irish anthem either.
He didn't sing the Irish anthem, and he didn't sing our anthem. So what's the problem?
Perhaps he can't work out his nationality. I mean, maybe the guy's not loyal. He manages England, he plays for Ireland. What a tart!
He says he believes in the concept. He says he believes in the concept. But in this instance, there's no point in believing the concept. You have to walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Most definitely. Do you think, briefly, Linda, that it was naive or indeed foolish of the FA to appoint this guy as interim manager, knowing that he wouldn't sing the anthem?
Did they know beforehand, though?
Would they have done their due diligence, Neil?
My guess is, knowing bureaucracies, knowing particularly the FA, they will not have researched him fully and will not have known this. And they've found themselves with their trousers around their ankles yet again, and they should just say, sorry.
all of that, but he will be judged on results, and the fact that England beat Ireland tonight will weigh more heavily than the fact that he didn't sing the national anthem.
There you go. Well, should the new or interim England manager face some kind of punishment for his unwillingness to sing the national anthem? Is he unpatriotic, or is it his right to abstain? Let me know your thoughts. gbnews.com/your say. Well, a big reaction to my big opinion. The interim England manager refuses to sing the national anthem. Extraordinary. I think it's a disgrace. And so do you. Daniel has messaged the show. He's a GB News member who says, Mark, I'm afraid it's the usual FA mess-up. It should have been made contractually clear that the role of anyone representing England needs to sign up to the patriotism necessary. If you aren't willing, then you don't get the job. Simples. Gary says, Mark, Lee Carsley is English by birth. He should sing the national anthem. And Glynis, what a lovely name that is, Glynis. Are you messaging us from Wales, I wonder? Glynis says, Mark, Sven attempted to sing the national anthem. Fabio wouldn't, as he said, you shouldn't sing another national anthem. Well, then you shouldn't take the job. Lee Carsley should be replaced with a permanent English candidate as manager ASAP. Glynis, couldn't agree with you more. Keep those messages coming. gbnews.com/your say.